retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They feel their disease. Breathe just like a wind, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared.
What's shaking, everybody? We want to take the time just to thank y'all for joining us here at What's Shaking Titans. I'm your host, Gary Bailey. As always, guys, if you are currently watching us live right now on YouTube, please take this time to hit the subscribe button as well as turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like, that will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video. We'll pop up more often. As always, if you're watching us on Facebook right now, we just want to take the time to thank you for watching us live on Facebook. Share us out to all your friends, share us to all your groups. The more you share, the more people get to see us and get to know about us. Sharing is caring, guys. So real quick, guys, I'm going to take the time to bring in our special guest for tonight's episode, Lee Hills of the 615 podcast. So Lee, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm good. Better than some of the news we just got.
Yeah, so we definitely got some breaking news we're about to share with y'all. So real quick, guys, got a couple huge announcements before we get into breaking news. So first announcement is this episode was supposed to be the Titans Rossi episode, although Titan Rossi had something pop up. So if you'll tune in to What's Shaking Titans on Monday at 4 p.m., we will be doing a live game coverage between with me and Titans Rossi, as well as our special our all new co-host Matthew Matrix, also known as Titans Blueface. So he'll be joining What's Shaking Titans as our new co-host here. So he was supposed to be here tonight, however he had something pop up last minute as well. So, you know, guys, just stay tuned. Tune back in on Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time for that. And I'm going to throw it back over here to Lee. Lee, you want to kind of share some of this breaking news that we got going on right now?
So, nothing has been confirmed, but what may be, of course, y'all know Peter Skoronski was downgraded to officially out against the LA Chargers. So what maybe keeps Peter Skoronski out of this game is apparently an issue with his appendix, per Jared Stillman.
Man, yeah. So we got. I believe that takes the total of players out up to 3. So we got Peter out, we got Fulton out, and we got
and Monty Hooker.
Amani Hooker out. So those
But
three.
they did elevate Kyle Pecco on the defensive line and Eric Garrer, the undrafted free agent in the secondary,
Yeah,
who had an incredible preseason.
yeah. He really did, man. Outstanding.
And of course, the other news that we're getting, there were a couple of Titans fined in the Week 1 loss to the New Orleans Saints. Aziz Al-Shaair, the inside linebacker that came over to Tennessee in free agency, was fined $13,934 for a hit on quarterback Derek Carr in the third quarter. And running back Julius Chestnut was fined $4,861 for an unnecessary roughness in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I mean,
That,
if I'm correct, that hit on Carr was the basically the elbow to the face. If I'm correct, right?
basically, yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought that was Simmons who did that, but I guess it wasn't.
But if that just does not add salt to the wounds for Titans fans,
I don't know what does, but I mean,
you
yeah,
have the loss. You have the loss Week 1, and then you have 2 players getting fined.
yeah. Week 1 was definitely gut wrenching for Titans fans. I know,
But
I was pretty fired up.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this.
Let's do it. All right, guys. So we're gonna be breaking down Week 1 matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Tennessee Titans. The final score of Saints 16, Titans 15. So we lost by 1 point there. Guys, it was atrocious to watch our offense play for the most part. Although ESPN did say that, somehow, which I call BS, but somehow we had, what was it, the 11th best pass?
11th best pass rush or pass block.
Yeah.
Offensive line.
So, that was kind of a crazy stat. I don't know who came up with that, but whoever did may need some new eyes because Tannehill looked to be under a lot of pressure, but Tannehill was also distressed.
And we talked about this Tuesday night when recording the pod. 66.7% of the pass rush was coming from your left tackle to your center, which was Andre Dillard, Peter Skoronski, and Aaron Brewer.
Yeah.
60% total was coming from Andre Dillard and Aaron Brewer. Because you had 40% coming from Andre Dillard at left tackle.
Yeah, and, there's a lot of things I can really, we can nitpick on. So I'm trying to make sure that we do this in order of our topics as well. But, Titans really struggled offensively, and it wasn't just the offensive line. We struggled at the quarterback position. I'd say the Titans defense did fairly well. I would like to see more pressure on the quarterback, more often by our front seven. Those guys are definitely solid. I did like what I seen. We got to eliminate the plays that set us back, offensively and defensively. I think one of the key things that stuck out to me was kicker Nick Folk had a spectacular day, at least in field goal. I mean, he's automatic in the field goal. Yeah. But, guys, we're going to get into this. We're going to break it all down. Lee, can you tell me what do you think went wrong offensively for the Tennessee Titans on this past Sunday?
The thing I feel like really went wrong was, and I think we mentioned it Tuesday night. The second we had a running lane, it was closing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it doesn't help that your offensive line somewhat looked like it did at the end of last year.
Yeah, that.
Yes, you have pretty much a whole new offensive line, except for Aaron Brewer.
Yeah, I feel like and we, like you said, we kind of mentioned a lot of this on Tuesday, guys. So, Lee, if you want to kind of give a plug to the podcast on Tuesday, real quick.
Yeah, you of course you can find the podcast. Just go to wherever you stream your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and just search the 615 or search my name, Lee Hillis, Lee space Hillis.
Yeah, guys, it's definitely a great podcast. I'm co-host with Lee on that, and we really kind of go into details. We break out the numbers and this, we try to give y'all, and we try to give y'all the most accurate view of the game and the most accurate breakdown. Where on here on What's Shaking Titans, we really just want to kind of talk about it more in a relaxing way, not throwing so much numbers, but we do have these numbers to kind of back all of our talk up today. So with all that being said, man, for me, and like I said, we mentioned this on the podcast, but one of the things that went wrong before we even got to New Orleans, and that's the game plan.
The game plan, the coaching, and the game plan. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we mentioned this, as you said on Tuesday, I feel like a lot of the coaching and the game plan falls on Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
When your star running back is on the sideline on third down, people know, hey, when Derek's not out there, you're throwing it. Or you're going to run something with Tajay Spears. Who knows?
Yeah, and and
I feel like you have to have Derek out there if you're going to have a chance to win games on third down.
Yeah, you definitely have to have Derrick Henry out there. I think it's more than just third down. We forget how necessary Derrick Henry is for this offense. Derrick Henry was by far the best offensive player, in my opinion, on both sides of the ball. He had the longest play on both sides, Saints and Titans, with a 49-yard screen pass. But I mean, when you start the game out, and technically his first series was the second drive for the Tennessee Titans, and he was 3 carries for an average of 9.7 yards per carry, and then by the time we got to halftime, that average had dropped to 5.3 yards, which is still really good for a running back. But then when we came out of halftime, they underutilized him. He only got 5 carries after that for the rest of the game, and that set the Titans back, majorly. It really did. And, then we really got to look at rest of what went wrong in that thing, I liked some of the stuff we got to see from Spears, pass-wise. There's a couple plays I want to kind of point out. There was a play that was a screenplay. It was a dual screenplay. Henry ran out to the right, Spears to the left. And when Tannehill hiked that ball, Henry was screaming right open to the right side of the offensive line. Of course, Tannehill didn't even acknowledge that side. He instantly overthrew Spears. If he would have been able to hit Spears, that still would have been, a possible touchdown or a, first down. But Henry was wide open as well. Then we got to go and we got to look at, you know, Spears' running plays. Lee, do you know what Spears averaged on the ground per play?
Between receiving and rushing, or just
Just rushing.
uh, that is actually a very good question.
I stumped them, guys. But yeah, so while he looks that up, there are a lot of things, like we said, that really went wrong that we could really nitpick at. Of course, it is a friendly reminder to say it was week one. A lot of rust needed to be knocked off. I kind of lean
I agree.
towards do what?
And I agree. There's a lot of rust that needed to. Uh, Tajay Spears, his average per carry was 9 yards a carry.
9 yards a carry. So and you see
He was 3 for 27.
3 for 27. Okay, so that's not bad, and most of his snaps came in the form of passing, and of course Tannehill for some reason just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn on Sunday, and that's saying friendly, that's being
In
friendly
the end,
to him.
if you throw his one catch for 1 yard, that average comes down to 8 yards per
Ooh,
play.
yeah, yeah. So, we're talking offensively. Let's really break this down some more. Let's talk about the quarterbacks, and before we get into this quarterback conversation, guys, I'm gonna play a quick video. This is Ian Rappaport on the NFL Plus on the NFL Insiders, talking about Ryan Tannehill and Mike Vrabel's comment after the game on Tannehill. So, guys, please enjoy this video, and we'll be right back after this video.
Ian, that we're monitoring this week is going to be the Titans and their quarterback. And that's in part because of Mike Vrabel's comments post-game. And Vrabel's very measured in terms of his words. When he's asked about why Tannehill struggled and said repeatedly, I don't know, I don't know. You do know that they've got a couple of quarterbacks they've drafted high in the draft in recent years behind him. Are we at the how long's the leash part of the program on Ryan Tannehill, or are we jumping ahead of the game here?
I would always say no, that it's ridiculous, right? Because it's literally one game. But it's not really one game because it was also kind of last year, and obviously they had Malik Willis last year, and they went out and they drafted Will Levis in the second round, actually traded up to draft Will Levis in the second round, which somehow makes it more urgent. I don't know why, but that's kind of what it feels like. And then you read Vrabel's comments, we have to be better, Ryan has to be better, we have to hit guys that are open, you can't force the ball into double coverage. Like, that is rare, right? Like, there's not I cannot think really in recent memory when you hear a coach he's not wrong, obviously. Of course he's right. But, like, that's pretty real. And obviously him and Tannehill have to have a good relationship for him to be able to say that publicly. But that, to me, Mike, at least kind of starts the clock of, like, we're going to at least think about it. And I know everyone sort of decided that Malik Willis sucks after last year. Sounds like he had a really good camp. And I don't know that he sucks anymore. He might actually be an interesting option here for the Titans. We'll see, though.
Well, I still go back to the way that they handled him, though, late last season and having Joshua Dobbs be the guy that could be the guy on short notice the way that he was. I don't know. I think Mike Vrabel wants to exhaust every last possible option with Ryan Tannehill before making the move. But this is definitely him throwing up some signs. And you talked about how they have a great relationship for Vrabel to be able to do it. Maybe that won't help it. But you know what? Sometimes you need to hear the truth, and sometimes you need to be put on notice. I think that's clearly what Vrabel is doing in this case.
Tannehill's in a contract year. He's one of those quarterbacks who, barring a franchise tag or an extension somewhere down the line here, he's going to be available. So a lot on the line for Ryan Tannehill, certainly a lot on the line for the Titans, too. And one other point here, Malik Willis was up as the number 2 quarterback last week. Will Levis was the 3. Ian's absolutely right. Everyone I've talked to says Malik Willis grew leaps and bounds from where he was his rookie year. Levis also had a quad injury, I believe it was, late in training camp, didn't play in the final preseason game. He has missed a lot of reps, and so we'll see kind of how that depth chart shakes out as things move forward here.
I really do. I agree. I think Tannehill's leash is shortened after that week 1 loss, but I feel like that if Tennessee can come out and play the brand that we know they can play with Ryan Tannehill under center, I feel like he'll start giving just a little bit more leadway each week. Yeah, and and I'm gonna give my thoughts on that. I don't think it was his inaccuracy. I just felt like he was trying to force it too much, force throws that weren't there. And I'm gonna say if Tannehill has just a split second longer, he'll make the right read. Like go as you said, go back and look at that Cincinnati game. You have Jeff Swain streaking right over the middle, literally 6 inches from a first down. Yep. Chig. Down the sideline. And then there was another play where you had the first interception where you were going to Hopkins. Traylon Burks was wide open. Yeah. With a 10.3. It is. It was It was during week 6 in Denver. Deterioration. So, oh yeah, he. I, I do have. I've got a quick scoreboard update. Tennessee just scored a touchdown against Florida. They're up 6-0 with the PAT pending. They went 6 plays, 71 yards in 6 plays in 2 minutes and 1 second. It is. It 100% is.
Bro. All right, guys. So I do apologize about that. We've been going on. My mic's been muted. It's one of them days for me. I do apologize. Oh, so we were talking about Tannehill's leash being shortened. I was saying I agree. Don't think I'm a Ryan Tannehill hater. But Tannehill's leash had to be shortened here, guys. Like, it has to be. We talked about Marcus Mariota and Mariota's gameplay his last year, and you could clearly tell through the coach's comments that Mariota's leash had been shortened as well. So I would say this: if Tannehill continues to play the way he played Week 1, that leash is going to continue to get shorter and shorter, and we're eventually going to see Malik Willis or Will Levis in there. I would lean more towards Malik Willis, as he is the backup quarterback right now to Tannehill, and Will Levis is the QB3.
And he's only there as like an emergency quarterback. So
Yeah. And then, let's refer back to the video and what, Ian Rappaport was saying right there at the end. He said, I know a lot of people feel like Malik Willis sucks, but he said, last year he did struggle last year, but he said, I've heard a lot of good things coming out of camp and coming from the organization, saying that he is leaps and bounds ahead of where he was. And you can see that. If you go back and watch preseason, you could see the leaps and bounds that he took. So I feel comfortable saying, if it gets to that point, we need to make that switch. Let's make that switch. There's certain throws that I feel like Malik Willis will be able to make that I feel like Tannehill won't be able to make. And that's nothing bad against Tannehill, and vice versa. I feel like there's stuff that Tannehill is able to do that Malik Willis isn't yet able to do, and that that comes from the veteranship of Ryan Tannehill. So it's really a catch 50-50 both ways. And News Channel 5 actually has the Titans on right now talking about the injuries that we opened up with. But Lee, what is your opinion? Do you think if Malik Willis has to step in for Tannehill because his play continues to be identical to what it was, in New Orleans, he continues to show that he's not poised in the pocket anymore, he's under distress. Do you think that making that swap to Malik Willis will be a good thing for the Titans, or do you think it will end the season for us?
I feel like if the Titans were to make that, I want to say change or switch, I would rotate him in for a couple of series and allow Ryan to sit on the sideline and clear his head.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked. I believe we talked to. Might have mentioned that on Tuesday as well. I'm not sure. It might have
But
been me and April
but
on Sunday.
speaking of Malik,
Yeah.
um, and how Ian Rappaport said that Malik is leaps and bounds ahead of where he was last year. Yeah, the reason why is because he's had a whole off season, unlike his rookie year.
Yeah. I agree. He had a whole off season, you know, like you said, when he came out of the draft, he really didn't have that time to progress, to practice calling plays, you know.
He only had maybe 3 months ahead of training camp.
Exactly.
And
So,
like you saw the preseason last year, yeah, he progressed a little bit each time.
yeah, you know, each preseason game last year, he got a little better, and a little better. And then, I mean, honestly, guys, like, I know there's a lot of y'all who said, well, he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. They didn't trust him throwing the ball. They trusted him throwing the ball, but they protected him.
Preseason this year.
Yeah. And they protected him during, you know, the games that he got thrown into last year because they knew that he wasn't yet ready, you know. Everybody who, you know, is a true you know, who is truly observating what was going on last year would tell you that, of course, Malik Willis was not ready. He was thrown in too soon. I know I said countless of times.
He was.
Yeah, I said countless of times on here, guys, countless of times that Malik Willis, you know, the best case scenario for him is to sit behind Tannehill for an entire year and not have to start. But then I also told y'all during the preseason that if that offensive line we had last year kept playing like they did, Tannehill was going to go down with an injury. And that's what happened. And Malik Willis was thrown in way too soon. But now that he's had a off season under his belt and he's progressed a lot, I mean, like Ian said, like everybody's been saying, he's leaps and bounds above where he was last year. And we got to remember, he almost beat the Chiefs. He almost beat the Texans, you know. The 3 games that he played in, you know, 2 of them were really close games. And he was maybe 1 pass away in the Chiefs game from breaking 100 yards passing and winning that game, guys. So, you know, I think people need to kind of back down on the Malik Willis hate. I think it's because everybody expected to see another Steve McNair right out the gates with him. You know, no, Steve McNair even had to have time to develop.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, it took him at least 5 years
Yeah.
to get going.
Yeah, you know, and you.
But as I said, here comes Florida. Trevor Etienne, 62-yard rushing touchdown.
Ooh, nice.
But missed the PAT.
Missed the PAT. So, you know, guys, I think here's my and let's go ahead and talk some Will Levis before we move on to our next topic here, Lee. Here's my concern with Will Levis. We drafted him, and he didn't
We traded
even
up to draft him.
yeah, and he didn't even get through week 2 of the preseason. He got hurt during joint practice with the Vikings. Then we didn't see him ever since then. You know, I don't like comparing, but if I had to do a comparison and compare him to another quarterback, I'd have to say either
Jake Locker?
Either Jake Locker or Vince Young. You know, both had talent, but neither one of them were able to stay on the field. They constantly were getting hurt, you know, and I mean, let's just be honest, guys. That is the track that Will Levis is heading down. Do we really want to go back down that path again and have something like that at our quarterback to where we're going deep in the playoffs and or even on the verge of making it into the playoffs, and then our starting quarterback goes down, and then we're screwed. I think the Titans have seen enough of that throughout throughout our organizational history to say, hey, if you're injury prone at the quarterback, we got to find someone else. I mean, look at Marcus Mariota. They went out and got who? Ryan Tannehill. Why? Because Mariota could not stay healthy. That's just how it is. You have to be able to stay healthy. You have to be able to get your snaps. You have to take advantage of those snaps when they come, whether preseason, whether it's practice. But the more you miss, the less snaps you have, the less you're able to sit out there and prove why you could be that guy. So right now, guys, I'm out on Will Levis. I know there's probably a lot of y'all who disagrees with that. That's fine. I think our best option is definitely Malik Willis if Tannehill continues to play in that direction that he's been playing in. So real quick, guys, we're gonna go to a quick break, and then when we come back in here, guys, we're gonna be breaking down the Titans defense from Week 1. We're gonna do a deep dive on that. We're also gonna grade kicker Nick Folks. I almost said that backwards. We're going to be grading kicker Nick Folks' performance on Sunday, Week 1 against the Saints. And then, guys, we're going to really break down key matchups, going into Chargers versus Titans tomorrow. We're going to break down this game. We're going to give you our score predictions. I mean, we're going to do our best to keep y'all entertained. So, real quick, guys, if you're taking the time to watch us live on YouTube right now, please take this time to hit the subscribe button as well as turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans, as well as give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and it will allow us to pop up more often. If you're watching us live right now on Facebook, we want to take the time to thank you. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Share us out to your friends. Share us to all your groups. The more you share, the more people get to see us. Sharing is caring, guys. And Lee, before we get out of here, you want to give a quick shout out to your social media and where people can find you?
Yeah, you can find me over on X at podcast615 on Instagram. At @the_615 podcast. You can find me. You can find the 615 podcast wherever you stream your music or podcast at.
All right, guys, and with that being said, we will be right back. This episode of What's Shaking Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe.
wanna hear it out your mouth, yeah. Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big boss, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up shit, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it, I promise.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad. Cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror break.
Well, outside of Money Hooker and Christian Fulton, who are both out this week, the secondary looked very good. Because combine Christian Fulton and Amani Hooker, they were 7 for 10 for 156 yards passing. That's what they allowed. And so, if you take both those guys out of the equation, your secondary is probably one of the best.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Once again, I started with my mic muted. I was saying, it's one of them days for me here today, guys. I am struggling all across the board. So I do apologize for all that. We're going to restart all this over real quick, guys. So, if you are watching us live on YouTube right now, please take the time to hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans, as well as give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way, the more people get to see us, we'll pop up more often. If you're watching us live right now on Facebook, we definitely want to take the time to thank all of you guys over there. Guys, if you share us out to all your friends, share us to all your groups, the more you share us out, the more people get to notice us and see us. And, the bigger we get, guys, we just want to thank all of y'all. Sharing is caring. I was asking Lee, what was the best key from the Tennessee Titans defense? He was talking about the secondary there. I know y'all heard what he said because his mic wasn't muted like mine was. So we're going to kind of skip that part, guys, and we're going to get into some of the things that we feel like the Titans defense could have done better and need to do better. So, Lee, what are your thoughts on some of the things that the Titans should have done better defensively?
Well, I came across something today, and it was hitting on the Charger game. And in the NFL, there are plays that they like to call the X plays, the explosive plays. Late in the game, like you started seeing those explosive plays just come at will. And there was one right there late in the fourth quarter that was on Christian Fulton.
Mm-hmm.
So they started allowing those X plays, as we like to call them. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right now. If the Titans want any chance to win this week, you have got to limit those X plays.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. Titans have to eliminate those big plays, especially in the air plays. Man,
They
for
held
me,
the ground game very well.
yeah. Well, and for me, I would say that if one of the things Titans need to do better, more consistently, not saying it was bad, but something they need to do more consistently is get more consistent pressure on the quarterback quicker. A lot quicker, because if you're getting to him quick, then you're causing him to make passes early. You're not giving him a clean pocket, which will cause for inaccurate passes, which will give the secondary time and options, chances to intercept the ball. So I'd say for our front seven, let's continue to get pressure, but let's try and increase that and be more consistent throughout the game with that. Secondary wise, guys, we got to stick to our players. We got to make sure that we get our heads turned, and watching the quarterback's eyes, so that way we're not getting balls thrown over us. But overall, I feel like the Titans defense did a really decent job. I still think that the Titans defense will probably come close to being a top 5, top 3 defense, especially if we, continue to get better in the secondary and continue to get better, in our front seven. It's only going to get the production is only going to go up. And of course, guys, this is the first game, so these guys are still trying to learn how to gel with each other, and once that happens, I think we could see a really unique Titans defense on the field. Let's talk special teams. Let's talk Nick Folk. What grade would you give Nick Folk in that game, Lee?
Okay, I'm back. I had someone calling me while.
Oh, you're good. So I was asking, we're talking about, special teams and Nick Folk's performance. What grade would you give Nick Folk in that game?
Right off the bat, because we finally, I feel like, found our kicker and fixed the kicking crisis. Because we have not, since, I think it was like Ryan Suckup, I think.
Yeah.
The Titans have not had a kicker that could hit from 50 or more. We finally have that with Nick Folk. So just based off of that, and that he scored all of our points in week 1, I would probably go A-.
A-. So, guys, I'm going to go with a B+. Most of the positive grades in that were, of course, from the field goals that I feel is just automatic for him. But I give him a B+ because of his leg strength when it comes to, kicking the ball off.
He's getting that drive on the ball.
Yeah, but I feel like, he's struggling kicking it into the end zone, which opens the floor for, the other team to have a good return on us. So I'm gonna go B plus on that. I really liked what we've seen from him. I think you're 100% correct on your assessment of him being the guy that we've been searching for the past few years. I agree 100% with that. Special team wise, guys, we had a very awesome play to start the game. Let's talk about it here. Let's talk about that takeaway. Homeboy ripped the ball straight out of dude's hands like it was just a bag of candy on Halloween. Like, give me mine. My piece of candy. Lee, what is your thoughts on that very first play, from the Tennessee Titans?
Well, I'm going to put it like this. Monty Hooker was just a downright thief on that first play.
Yes, he was, bro.
He tracked him all the way to the sideline. And you and I hit on this. There's no reason that they should have had to review that if the officials were doing their job.
Yeah.
Because if you just go back and watch that replay, he's getting possession of it with his knee on the ground in the field of play, and then he rolls with it.
Yeah, he definitely had plenty of room in that play. It was clear and obvious as day. Vrabel should have never had to throw that challenge flag on that play or the quote-unquote incomplete pass play, which was a fumble play. I don't care what they say. But, still, the officiating's, got to get better. There needs to be somebody to hold them just as accountable, just like we hold Tannehill accountable, Mike Vrabel accountable, or even the defensive player. If Jeff Simmons, if Jeff Simmons goes out there and has a bad performance, we're going to hold him accountable. If Kevin Byard gets out there and has a bad performance, we're going to hold him accountable. These referees need to be held accountable too. So, guys, that is our, week 1 breakdown. If you have any questions or any comments that you want us to talk about, definitely feel free to leave it in the comments, guys. We'll read it out. But with all that being said, we're going to keep pushing this show along. We're going to get into our week 2 matchup with the Chargers versus the Titans. And guys, Dylan Radins has been, it was announced on Friday that Dylan Radins will play. So Lee, what is your thoughts on Radins coming back and playing? Where do you think he'll play at? How long do you think he'll play at? Let's hear your thoughts on this.
Well, I'm glad to see that Radins is back. Last year when he got put in against the Chargers, to remind you that, which was the game where he tore his ACL, and that game was in LA. I think getting Radins back is a great thing. I feel like Dylan Radins has a lot to offer, and when he's put in there, you started seeing it right before he got injured. You started seeing him getting on that roll before he got injured last year in LA. And of course, I expect to see him line up at guard, like everybody else does. Even though he was drafted as a left tackle.
Yeah.
So what I would do, if I'm Mike Vrabel, I start giving him some of those rotation pieces at left tackle. Like if Dillard struggles, pull him and throw Radins right there.
Yeah.
And then at left guard, you could play a guy like a Corey Levin, who is your backup center.
Yeah.
Or put, or move Brunskill from right to left, and put a guy like Jalen Duncan at right guard.
Yeah, I could see that, man. literally,
Hubbard,
those are all really
or
kind of
move
good
Hubbard.
moves.
Or move Hubbard inside from right tackle to right guard and put Duncan at right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many options you have this week on that offensive line.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. I like the fact that Radens is coming back. Hopefully he can get out here and perform,
I'm hoping
at a
this
high
is his
level.
bounce back game.
Yeah, because he definitely needs that bounce back game.
And,
So hope.
And you agree with him that if you did not watch the Charger game, go back and watch it. Because last year, before he tore his ACL, he had just started to get going in that game against the Chargers. And then he tears his ACL.
Yeah. And,
and this is the game that Ryan Tannehill left him.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, because he came back. And then he got rolled up on in L.A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it was Malik and Dobbs from there on out.
Yeah, you're right. So, guys, let us know your thoughts on Dylan Radens and his return. Like I was saying, I definitely like the fact that Radens is coming back. This is definitely, like Lee said, has to be a bounce back game for him. Can he stay healthy? Will he be able to block good? These are all big questions. Is he going to be able to gel with the offensive line? Definitely all questions that are, there to be asked. Of course, Mike Vrabel said that, he earned this opportunity. So, if he earned that opportunity, then surely they've seen something good out of him or something, worthy enough to say, okay, we're giving you a shot this week in the game. And then, guys, we're going to kind of recap the inactives for this game real quick. So, some players that will not be there during this game. Peter Skoronski is out due to illness. Then you got Christian Fulton, who is out due to injury. And then you got Amani Hooker, who is out due to injury. And it's a concussion, so it'll be a while before we see him.
And the thing that kind of scares me is Hopkins is questionable.
Yes, so, we're about to get into that, So, here's my question for you.
It's always those soft tissue injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen soft tissue injuries recurring over and over and over and over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
David Long, that's the reason he's not here anymore. Christian Fulton, that's probably why he's on his way out the door.
Yep. So let me ask you this, our next subject here is DeAndre Hopkins' ankle injury a big deal, small deal, no deal, crazy deal? What is it here for you, brother?
There's so many ways this could go. Because they're saying it's going to take possibly 2 guys to replicate what DeAndre Hopkins can do if Hopkins don't go tomorrow. And those guys are NWI and Chris Moore. I don't trust either of them.
Yeah.
So this, in my mind, it's somewhat of a big deal.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a deal, D-Hop is, our top wide receiver right now. Then you got Burks, who is himself coming off of an injury and still trying to get back to full speed. And losing D-Hop puts more pressure on everyone, on Burks, on Chig, on Henry, on Spears. And that's another name I want to mention is Spears. Spears is dealing with some stuff too, So I think you have to say this injury is definitely a big deal. We got to have a healthy player,
Yeah.
So with that being said, there, Lee, what are some key matchups going into this game with the Chargers versus Titans? What are some key matchups you're going to be watching for?
Well, I would for sure be looking at Traylon Burks, probably versus Derwin James. And of course, let me pull up their depth chart and see, because right now Burks is the number one wide out. Um,
So, guys, while he's looking up the depth chart, I'm going to take this time to kind of give a quick plug here. So, guys, if you are not doing nothing on, I believe the episode actually will air on Wednesdays. But if you're not doing nothing on Wednesday, definitely go check out the 615 podcast with Lee Hills on all of your podcast streaming platforms. Just search the 615 or search Lee, that's LeeHillis. And you'll find his podcast there where I'm actually co-hosting with him. We'll be breaking down stuff in depth on there. His podcast is awesome. So just really want to take the time also to say thank you, Lee, for having me on board with your podcast as well. Thank you for coming in on such short notice today. Today has been a whirlwind for me over here, guys. Literally like one thing after another. So Lee, I just want to thank you for being a part of this. And then guys, as always, you can find What's Shaking Titans on all of your social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, Spotify. And I'm working on Twitch. We have a Twitch page, but haven't got it to stream there yet. So be looking for that soon. Go ahead, Lee.
So for me, it would probably be Traylon Burks on Michael Davis, which is their left corner. And typically Traylon lines up to the left side of the offense. Or you could get Traylon on a guy like J.C. Jackson. And you could, if DeAndre does go, which I don't think he will, but if he does, you're getting him the guy that's opposite of Traylon.
Yeah.
And then whoever you have in the slot would have the son of NFL Hall of Famer Asante Samuel. In Asante Samuel Jr.
Yep.
And then you have to deal with the safety room in Derwin James. And you also have to deal with a guy like Joey Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma is another guy. Nick Neiman is the guy that's probably going to end up replacing Eric Kendricks if he can't go tomorrow. Like this defense it's somewhat loaded.
Yeah, it really is. And I feel like the Chargers is one of them underrated team by a lot of people.
One of those sneaky defenses.
Yes, they sneaky good guys.
The special teams is incredible. The punter J.K. Scott, who was in Jacksonville last year.
Yeah.
Cameron Dicker, the kicker.
Yeah.
But then, like, you have to look at that offense. Mike Williams, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett. And, of course, you have Isaiah Spiller so far on the depth chart. as the number 4 running backs. They're carrying 4 running backs.
Yeah.
It looks like Eckler will be out, which means they will rely heavily on Josh Kelly, the former Tennessee Volunteer.
Yeah. So, guys, my thing here, my key matchup for this game, Lee, you're going to like this. My key matchup for this game is going to be Ryan Tannehill and the Chargers' entire, and I repeat, entire secondary. That's going to be my key matchup. Tannehill has to play better than their entire secondary.
And
bottom line,
their secondary, I don't want to say the secondary's bad, but they're not what they were last year.
Yeah.
When they had Jalen Ramsey. Or no, he was the Rams, sorry.
Yeah, and my concern with this game is this is definitely one of those winnable games on the list. And usually the Titans stink up those games. And then Tannehill. I'm concerned with Tannehill because of the way he looked against the Saints. Not so much of how he played, because that can be corrected. But when you're a quarterback in the NFL, you're expected to have a poise about you, a demeanor about you, to be calm, cool, and collected under pressure at all times. You have to be able to put the last play behind you. We seen none of that from Tannehill against the Saints. Tannehill looked distressed the entire game, from the first snap all the way to the end of that game. He looked distressed. He looked frustrated. He looked confused. He had no poise. This man was sweating bullets, and if you were watching that game in 4K, I'm sure you could see those bullets sweating right off his face. So, my key matchup here is going to be Tannehill versus the entire secondary. I know this is going to be one of the easier secondary that Tannehill faces this season. So, this will be a good game for Tannehill to have a bounce back in. We also have to sit here and ask our question. We talked about earlier Tannehill's leash being shortened. If Tannehill goes out here and struggles against the secondary like the Chargers has, then what is everybody going to say? Because let's be honest, the Saints have a really good defense all around.
Yeah.
A solid defense. So that's something, we really got to ask ourselves is if he continues to show these things, the not having poise in the pocket, not being able to hit wide open receivers, not throwing it to the right person, that was something that was talked about by Greg Gershell from NFL Films, is that Tannehill was throwing it to the wrong player, on a couple different plays. And, then he was missing players who were wide open and then overthrowing, players, who were within a 30-yard range of him, and then when it was out deeper, he was underthrowing them. So Tannehill definitely had an off game. I really do feel like it's something that can be fixed, though.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good bounce back game for him. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, I just got some pretty good news.
Okay.
Not Titans related, but AJ Green officially retires as a Cincinnati Bengal.
Wow, did not see that coming. So there you have it, guys. Breaking news right here on What's Shaking Titans by Lee from the 615 podcast.
He signed a one-day contract to retire with the Bengals after 12 years in the NFL.
Wow. That's crazy. I really did not see that coming, man. Honestly.
Man, what a career the dude had.
Yes, AJ Green is a really good receiver, especially in
unfortunately not Hall of Fame level.
Yeah, definitely not Hall of Fame level, but he was a really good receiver. Not elite, not nothing.
Us. He tortured us when we played.
He definitely did. But let's tip our hats to AJ Green, for one heck of a career. He did really good once again, he wasn't an elite player, but he was definitely a top wide receiver in the National Football League. So, congratulations for a awesome career, and, our best wishes to you and your future endeavors. We hope, that everything works out for you. We pray for the best for you. With all that being said, guys, we're pushing into the end of our episode right now. So, guys, it is now time for our keys to victory. So we're going to give you 3 keys to victory here. We're going to start out with Lee's 3 keys to victory, and then I'll give you my 3 keys. Whether they're the same or different, we'll find out. Lee, brother, are you ready to take it away?
Well, y'all already know one of mine, and my first one is take away the X plays, the explosive plays, because the Chargers can definitely do that. They can definitely push the ball downfield with their receivers. That was number 1. Number 2, protect. Give your quarterback time. And number 3, see ball, get ball.
Can you say that one more time? Because that was awesome.
And for number 3, see ball, get ball.
Yeah. All right.
Basically what I'm saying is if the ball hits you in the hands, you've got to catch it.
Yep. Whether it's defense or offense. If you're a Titan secondary and that ball hits your hands, please come down with it so we can have an interception to talk about on our show. And if you're a wide receiver and Tannehill does manage to get the ball to you, please, please, please.
Take a shot at Tannehill.
Please, I sure did. Please, grab that ball and come down with it. So, all right, guys. So here we are. We are at my 3 keys to victory here. So I'm going to go through this really quick. My first key to victory is quarterback play. We got to have better quarterback play from Ryan Tannehill. We need poise from the quarterback. You need to be calm, cool, collected. Don't look panicked. Don't look rushed. Don't look, like you're nervous. Get out there and have fun. Remember why you play football. It's a sport that you love to play. Let's see that from you. Then my second key to this game is Henry. Yes, Henry. We got to run Derrick Henry. We got to use him more than what we did, against the Saints. Henry was definitely the best offensive player we had on the field against the Saints, and we hardly used him. So one of my big keys to this game is going to be utilizing Henry to his fullest potential. I don't care if we have to go back to our old-timey ways of run, pass, but we need to utilize Derrick Henry more in this offense. He's going to be key to getting us our first victory here of this year. And then my third key is getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. So I want to see multiple sacks. I would like to have, another 8 or 9 sack game like we had against Cincinnati. That would be awesome. In the playoffs, we need to get pressure on the quarterback. When we're getting pressure, we cause that quarterback to make inaccurate passes. We cause interceptions. We cause possible fumbles. So the quicker we can get to the quarterback, the better we can get to the quarterback. So my 3 keys is quarterback play, Henry, and getting pressure on the opposing quarterback. So Lee, what are your final thoughts on that?
I cannot disagree with them. Like if what we were doing is what we have to do, the whole run pass, if that's what we have to do, we need to.
Yeah.
Because there's a quote from the South: "If it ain't broke, don't fix it."
Yeah. Duct tape can fix everything. That's our next quote right there, guys. Let me tell you. Duct tape fixes everything.
Running the ball last season with Derrick, it was not broke.
Oh, no. And behind a high school offensive line.
He still almost hit 1,600 yards. And, of course, this Tennessee-Florida game has turned ugly.
Oh yeah, it's on commercial right now. What's the score?
At the 5:52 mark left in the first half, it's Florida 19, Tennessee 7. And the Vols have not won in the Swamp since 2003.
Man. Oh. Yeah, that's crazy. So hopefully the Vols can get a comeback here and do pretty good. Guys, we're gonna get into our. Go ahead, Lee.
But my Aggies got a huge win.
Yeah.
Even though they were playing nobody.
What was Ohio State's final score? Because I know they were up big time at one point.
Let me just pull that up.
All right. And guys, while he does that, I want to give you a quick take this time to give y'all a quick reminder. If you're watching us live on YouTube, please take this time to hit the like button as well as turn on all notifications. When you turn on all notifications, you'll get every notification when we go live, the whole 9 yards. I really botched this up once again, guys. It has been a long day for me. I do apologize. But guys, if you're watching us live on YouTube, please take the time to subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on all notifications to get the latest from What's Shaking Titans. Give us a big old like. That will help us out with the YouTube algorithm. That way more people get to see our video. We'll pop up more often. And if you're watching us live right now on Facebook, we want to give y'all a big shout out and say what's up, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed today's show so far. Share us out to all your friends, to all your groups. The more you share, the more people get to see us and know about us. Sharing is caring. We love you guys. As well as, let's give a huge shout out to Lee Hills from the 615 podcast. You can find his podcast, the 615 podcast, on all podcast platforms. Just search the 615 or search Lee Hills. That's Leehillis. Episodes will be airing every Wednesday, so definitely check that out, guys. Lee, did you get that score?
Let's just go ahead and do a scoreboard update.
Okay, let's do it.
Final, Florida State outlast Boston College 31-29. Penn State throttles Illinois 30-13. LSU bites the Bulldogs 41-14. Kansas State gets trounced by the Tigers 30-27. K-State was ranked 15th in the nation. Utah beats Weber State 31-7. Notre Dame beats Central Michigan 41-17. Georgia outlasts South Carolina 24-14. Alabama survives 17-3 over South Florida.
That's crazy that they even struggled, but I mean, let me ask you: you think Bama will be able to bounce back and have a good year this year, or do you think that think it's a bad year for them?
I say they drop a little bit further.
Yeah.
Oklahoma takes care of business in Tulsa, 66-17. North Carolina beats Minnesota, 31-13. Duke beats Northwestern, 38-14. Iowa takes care of Western Michigan 41-10. The score that you were wanting, Ohio State throttles the Hilltoppers 63-10.
63-10. Oof.
Washington State, the Cougs bite Northern Colorado 64-21.
Man.
And of course, my Aggies take care of ULM 47-3.
So there you got it, guys. That is the scores from your college games today. We want to give a huge shout out to Lee Hills for giving us these scores.
Washington State, or the University of Washington, is up on Michigan State right now. 7:47 left in the fourth. 41-0.
So there's a couple teams who's getting just absolutely throttled today.
Texas is losing to Wyoming 7-0
Man.
in Austin.
Man, that's crazy. Well, guys, there you have it. I want to give a huge shout out once again to Lee for giving us these scores here. Lee, before we get into our score prediction for tomorrow in the Chargers-Titans game, would you like to give your prediction in the Colorado game tonight against Colorado versus Colorado State?
In the words of Coach Prom, we're coming. So give me the Buffaloes over the Rams.
Buffalo over the Rams.
Give me Coach Prom and the boys. Because Coach Prom, what he has done has shocked a lot of people.
Yeah, he definitely
Coming
put
into
Colorado
the
back
season-
on the map, man.
Coming into the season, Colorado wasn't even ranked. Now here they are, ranked. They're ranked 18th in the nation, sitting at 2-0, and they're favored by 23.5. So I'll take that 23.5. I'll say give me Colorado 49-17.
Man, we are so close. So, like Lee said, as Coach Prime says, we coming. I'm taking I'm taking the Buffaloes.
Buffaloes.
I said the Bills, Lord help me. I'm taking the Buffaloes over Colorado State, and I'm going 48-14. So, guys, with that
So
being... Go
you
ahead.
think there's a missed PAT somewhere?
Somewhere, yes. I do believe that.
Because that whole offense runs behind two people: Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter.
Yep. And Travis Hunter is one of those players who is versatile. He plays both sides of the ball. You know, he plays safety as well as wide receiver. So, you know,
Corner.
Yeah, corner. Sorry, he plays corner as well as wide receiver. You know, just like his head coach did, Deion Sanders. So, man, he, in my opinion, I think he could be a surprise to a lot of people. He could be a first round draft pick possible.
I would probably say a late first round.
A late first
like
round?
mid to late first.
Yeah.
But if Colorado makes a freaking run and wins the Pac-12, they're last year in the Pac-12 before heading to the Big 12 next year.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Let me ask you this.
I could see them getting a semifinal game if they just run the freaking table.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Lee. Shadur, where do you think he might go in the draft?
I could see him possibly being a Heisman winner.
I agree.
I would say I'd probably say top 10.
Top 10. Yeah. You know, I think
I say that my top 3 quarterbacks in this class, right now, it's Caleb Williams. I would go Shadur at number 2 as your number 2 quarterback. And then Drake May.
Yeah.
From North Carolina.
And of course, you know, Shadur Sanders trained with the infamous Tom Brady during the offseason.
Yes.
And you can see that all over his gameplay. But guys, with all that being said, Lee, we're about to finish up this episode here tonight. And guys, we're going to do this with giving our final score predictions for the Chargers. Almost said Chargers Saints. I told y'all it's been a long night. Y'all just hang in here. Titans-Chargers game. We're going to give you the final scores, and then we're going to give our final thoughts. So, Lee, you want to give your final score and your final thoughts for this game, and then I'll give mine, and we'll close y'all out and send y'all along your way.
Well, if everything goes right, the Titans should have no problem running away with this game. If the offense this week has everything figured out, the Titans should be able to get it in the end zone. So I'm going to say, give me the Titans 27, Chargers 14.
All right, and is that your so what's your final thoughts for this game?
Well, I somewhat tied it in with the score.
Yep.
prediction.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure there. All right, guys. So I'm gonna give my final score prediction here. Had the Titans offense showed me more, I would definitely be higher up on this. I'm going to have to say this is going to be a close game. It's going to be another defense-heavy game on both sides. I think that, just from what we've seen week one, it's going to be really hard for me to give a big score gap. So I'm going to go 14-10 Titans. And I'm going to say this. Here's my final thoughts. Hopefully I'm wrong on the score prediction. Hopefully Titans blow them out. But my final thoughts for this game is we've seen a lot of things over the years from a lot of different quarterbacks, from a lot of different styles of offenses. We have to utilize Derrick Henry in this game. That is key. That is a huge key. Tannehill has to come out and he has to be poised. He has to play better. He has to throw it to the right receivers. We got to protect him. That's another thing. We have to protect him. That offensive line needs to play better. I know that ESPN put out that stat line saying we had the 11th ranked pass blocking offense. I actually sent Lee a funny video, so Lee knows what I'm talking about. But with that ranking behind it, so I'm not going to kind of repeat what it said. But anyway, we got to protect Tannehill. We got to give him more time to distribute this ball properly. When it comes to our pass catchers, if the ball hits you, please come down with the ball. You have to come down with the ball. And you have to help this offensive line out in the run game. This offensive line is struggling. They need help. We need as much help as we can get. Defensively, like I said earlier, let's get some pressure on this quarterback. Let's get 8 to 9 sacks again. Let's see Big Jeff get fired up. I want to see Big Jeff's bull rush again. Because if you remember, it was against was it against the Rams or the Chargers? Was his first game back? And he bull rushed their Chargers, yeah. And he bull rushed that offensive line, dude. Took them right back into their quarterback lap like it was nothing. So I want to see that bull rush from you again, Big Jeff. Please show it to me.
I'm going to say this. If you are a betting person, the Titans are a 2.5 point underdog. At home.
Yep.
The over-under is 45.5 on scoring.
Would you go over or under? If you were betting on this game.
I would go under. Based on the score prediction I gave.
Yeah.
And I like the odds for the Titans. 2.5. The Titans, most people don't know this. But if you're a betting person, you do. The home team, when it comes to favorites or underdog, the home team is automatically given 3 points.
Yeah, did you see?
Hypothetically, without 3 points, the Titans are a 5.5 point underdog.
Yeah. Did you see that post by Titans Rossi earlier today on Twitter about it was ranking the NFL team fan base with the most intimidating chant.
Chance.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Titans ranked second.
Jacksonville's at number 1.
How is Duval? How is that? Please explain that to me, because that is not intimidating.
It's comical. It's comical.
Lord help me. Anyway, guys, so there you have it. There, yeah, definitely tune in to Lee Hills. He's he can give you more betting advice than I can. I'm not a betting man, so don't listen to my advice when it comes to that.
People.
Yeah. So like I said, don't listen to my advice like that. You will probably lose your money. So just saying. But guys, let's hope and pray we have an awesome game tomorrow. Like I said, I'm leaning towards us having a big offensive game.
A resurgence.
A resurgence from Ryan Tannehill. A resurgence from Derrick Henry. A resurgence from Mike Vrabel. That is key. I feel like after the Green Bay game, Lee, and I'm just gonna talk to you for a second. I feel like after the Green Bay game, some of these players might have lost faith in Vrabel. And me and Maddox was talking about this on a low key note. It doesn't mean it's true or not, but I feel like after that Green Bay game, something shifted. Inside of that locker room. And a lot of people started losing maybe faith or trust in Vrabel's decision making and stuff like that. And maybe that's kind of playing out this year, So let's see a resurgence from not only the players, but from this coaching staff as well.
And we brought this up on Tuesday while recording the podcast. And, of course, you could put this in the comment section. How hot is Mike Vrabel's seat right now? After losing 8 straight. 1 through 4, it's ice cold. 5 through 8, it's getting a little bit toasty. And then ranking it 9 plus, his seat is on fire.
You want to repeat your scale one more time for the fan base? And I do apologize for the crazy scene change there, guys.
So, of course, Gary, you and I had talked about this on Tuesday. How warm is Mike Vrabel's seat right now after losing 8 straight games? And of course, y'all can put this in the comments. 1 through 4, it's ice cold. 5 through 8, it's getting a little bit toasty. And then ranking it 9 plus, it's on fire.
Yep. So, guys, let us know in the comments, and I'll tell you what we'll do since we're actually getting ready to get out of here. What we'll do is I will screenshot those comments, and I'll send them to Lee, and we can throw them up on Tuesday's episode. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way we can kind of... And then also, guys, if you want to check out my Facebook page and Twitter page, I will definitely do a poll on this as well, either today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow after the game, depending on how the game goes. And that way we can get a percentage of how many people feel like Mike Vrabel's job is actually on the line right now, and what that scale could be. Of course, Titans fan base is always divided, as from one reason or another. I hate it. I wish we could come together. Yeah. I say this, and this is just advice for anybody. Take it or leave it, but when you stand alone, if you take a tree branch and you take a twig by itself and you break, you hold it in your hands, you can snap it easily. But if you get 10 or 20 branches together and you try and break it, or twigs, you can't break it. So when you unite and you're standing together, we're stronger together than we are separate. Go ahead, Lee.
This Tennessee-Florida game is the half.
Mm-hmm.
Florida is up 26-7. Everybody is saying that quarterback at Florida is the second coming of Joe Burrow. Both Joe Burrow and Mertz, which is the quarterback at Florida, were both top-ranked quarterbacks from the Midwest. The only difference is that Joe Burrow never saw playing time at Ohio State. Mertz did at Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's crazy. I could see that, like you said, maybe it is the second coming of Joe Burrow. Then it'd be something. I'm gonna have to hop off here and definitely check this game out rest of the way. So guys, real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to Lee. Lee, thank you for coming on such short notice. You helped me out. It's been a rough day for me all around, so I definitely appreciate that, brother.
So, Mertz, his stat line is 17 of 20, 146, and a touchdown. It doesn't help that Travis Etienne's little brother, Trevor, is 11 carries for 119 yards.
Yeah, that's
And Trevor is only a sophomore at Florida.
You said he's only a sophomore at Florida?
Yeah.
Sorry,
He's
guys.
only
I'm trying
19.
to look something up on my phone real quick. That's
Joe Milton is 8 of 12, 92 yards passing. That sounds a little bit like a Joe Burrow game from Sunday.
yeah. That's what I'm about to say. Like,
One
got
touchdown, one
benched.
interception.
1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Yep.
He's still playing better than Tannehill did week 1. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. I'm gonna have some haters here soon. I'm sorry. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Once again, I am not a Ryan Tannehill hater. I am somebody who is brutally honest about the play calls that I see. I hold everybody accountable. Just like I'll hold Malik Willis accountable if it was Malik Willis out there, or Will Levis, or Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady, or
Someone said, because I'm at the network, we have a group chat, and I'm looking, and someone and Rossi said, "Let the freshman play."
let the freshman play.
The Nico kid with the $8 million insured arm.
Yeah.
Literally, his throwing arm is insured for $8 million.
Oh, before we hop out of here, would you like to give a plug on y'all's sponsor?
Yeah, we have a couple. The first one's Caldera Lab. They are a skincare line directed directly at men. And if you go to calderalab.com and use our code TITAN, TITAN, you will get 20% off your first order. And then our second sponsor is Homage, one of the coolest sports clothing lines. And of course, I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. It's comfortable. It is breathable. Like, you could wear this on a hot day and not be as hot outside. And I will post the link on my Twitter, and you go there. I think it's like 15 or 20% off with that link.
Definitely. Yeah, guys, definitely go on Homage. Check out their merch. They have all kinds of awesome merch. NFL related.
Yeah, they have MLB.
Yep.
NFL, WWE for those who love wrestling. So.
Yep. So definitely go check them out, man. I love some of their Titans merch they have. I'm actually gonna be.
They have a Hall of Fame pack that was just released. They have Earl Campbell, Warren Moon,
Yeah.
Dick Butkus. They have Jerome Bettis,
Yeah.
the Bus,
The Bus. So guys,
Shannon Sharp. They have a lot of them. So
yeah,
you're not only helping Homage, but you're also helping the network in the process.
yeah, guys. So definitely take the time to go on over to the Titan Upload Network. Click the link they have on their page to Homage. That like Lee was saying, they have all kinds of awesome merch. They have all kinds of sport gear. So definitely go check them out. I'm gonna be checking them out here soon. Get me probably some Oiler gear. I definitely need me some Oiler gear, whether it's to hang up on the wall or to rock like our special guest Lee is rocking right now. So definitely go check them out. Get your discount using their code, or I think it's just using y'all's link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
just
right
using
now.
using y'all's link.
We're still waiting to get our promo code, but
Okay. And then whenever they get their promo code, you can definitely catch that at the Titan Upload Network. As always, guys, definitely go over there, check out the Titan Upload Network. They are an awesome watch.
We just this past Sunday we crossed 11.2 thousand subscribers.
11.2, man, that's awesome.
So we're hoping by the end of the season to be around 14 or 15.
Oh wow, yeah. I can see it, man. Y'all, I mean, like I said, guys, Titan Upload Network is a huge network. A bunch of talented content creators. You got Titan Rossi, you got Michael Bishop of the Power Hour, you got Lee Hills of the 615 podcast. Then you got the Titan Upload Network themselves. You got Titans in Truth. All of these are definitely good watch. I love watching them throughout the week. Some of them keep you entertained and laughing, and it's a great watch, guys. So definitely go tune into the Titan Upload Network. You can catch that on all platforms, I believe: YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Spotify. I believe they're on all platforms, Twitch too. So go check them out. And then, guys, we're gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna do something new this time, just because I feel like it's been put on my heart. So whether you like it or you don't, I could probably care two less. So I'm going to read some scriptures here, So from now on, I'm going to end the show with a couple of scriptures, just because I feel like that, we're living in a time and age where, people need to hear scripture, So hopefully, if you know God, you're in a relationship with God. If not, I recommend, find you a local church. Get rooted, get inside that church, and build a relationship with God. Not just a Sunday morning go to church relationship, but build that relationship with God every day. So I'm going to read a couple of scriptures. We're going to start in Philippians 1:6. Philippians 1:6 says, I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1:6. My second one is 2 Timothy 2:21. Therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from what is dishonorable, he will be a vessel for honorable use, set apart as holy, useful to the master of the house, ready for every good work. That's 2 Timothy 2:22. And then 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. That's 2 Corinthians 5:17. Guys, I pray that every one of y'all have a blessed and highly favored day. We're going to get out of here. I got to go check on my kids. I got them crying in the background. So, guys, thank y'all for tuning in to What's Shaking Titans. As always, go check out the Titan Upload Network. Check out Lee Hill's podcast of the 615 podcast. Guys, we'll catch y'all later. Have a blessed night. Love y'all. This episode of What's Shaking Titans is powered by Bailey's Barbecue. Bailey's Barbecue, smoking good barbecue.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mine.